Hour. That's the Good Things. I'm your host, Rebecca Turner. Now, don't forget you can listen to Good Things. We are streaming live over at SuperTalk.fm. We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app and your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. But don't forget about watching us. You can find us on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. You'll see I'm not alone in the studio. That always brings me joy. Joining us is our favorite Master Gardener, John Malanchak, and our other favorite Master Gardener. I feel like after I said that, I was like, oh, Dr. Jeff Wilson. He is the head of Master Gardener Program there with the Mississippi State Extension's office, and we welcome you guys back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so it's like, kind of like children. Favorite, second favorite, depends on the day, Jeff. So I'm sure there's, we're not done. John will say something, and I'll be like, well, then Jeff's my favorite Master Gardener. But no, we love having you guys in and love what you guys do. Last time you were here, we were really gearing up and talking about one of your online programs, but they had just closed. So you guys have already done that. We have another one opening, so that's why we brought you back. So if folks are interested in it, they can actually get in on it at the beginning. So let's start there. Let's talk about the program that's supposed to open, or it opened today, or maybe opens tomorrow.
Yeah, it opened yesterday. So first of all, thank you. It's great to see you again. It's great to be back, and thanks for the opportunity for us to share about the Master Gardener program here in Mississippi. And so the Master Gardener program, it's a volunteer leader training program through MSU Extension. And we offer horticulture education to participants, and in return, they volunteer to assist their county or local extension office, MSU Extension office. So that's what the program is about. And we do our trainings online now, and the fall session registration opened yesterday. And so anyone across the state is welcome to register and take this course. They register, they pay, they take the entire course. Everything is done online.
And you can kind of do it at your own pace. It's not like coming on to school where you have to meet with the class or watch live lectures or anything like that. It's kind of like a do-it-yourself. Right?
Yes, absolutely. It's self-paced, and so the course will eventually open October 1st and close December 2nd. We've had people to finish the 40 hours of videos in the first week.
Is that John?
John's sort of in the middle there, yeah. and we have some people that are finishing the last video and taking the final exam, 5 minutes before the course closes on December 2nd. So you do it at your own pace. Middle of the day, middle of the night, whenever you want to do it, if you do it at your time and your pace.
Is it an open book exam?
It absolutely is an open book exam.
That's very important.
No one has ever failed the exam.
Well, I'm going to assume if you were interested in this enough to do the Master Gardener program, then you're going to take it seriously and love the knowledge and sort of gain it that sort of way. And are those the right people to do that, folks that already have a background in gardening or just have an interest in it, Jeff?
Yes, you don't have to have any background. There's no pre-requirements to take the course, but most everyone who does, they like working in the yard, they like gardening or horticulture or agriculture, and maybe they were raised around that, maybe they weren't. But as long as you have just a desire to learn about plants and you have a desire to volunteer and help others, then you will enjoy this program.
John, I love your story on how you got into master gardening, because you were one who didn't necessarily do it all the time. You kind of found it, in your second half of life and have thrived with it. So even if you're not already got your hands in the dirt, this could still be something people would enjoy.
Oh, yes. And I may have told you, I was born with a learning disability. I couldn't remember what I read. So I love gardening. But when I'd get a book on gardening, I'd just start flipping through this page and go to the last chapter. And the one thing I like about the Master Gardening Program, it's structured. You need to learn this first.
So you can't flip to the back.
No, you just don't start flipping. Yeah. And each topic will help you with the next one. So.
And then you've taken the volunteer thing, which is part of the Master Gardener program or purpose of it, to a whole new level. So what you got your hands in now, John?
Pardon me?
What you got your hands in terms of volunteering now?
Oh, let's see. I'm over 600 hours this year. And I volunteer at the VA hospital with the Vietnam veterans, and also at St. Catherine's Village with the memory care unit.
Are we growing vegetables or are we growing flowers?
We're growing flowers at the memory care unit because that leads into the other program that I'm really in love with, is the Master Floral Designer program. Unfortunately, I came down with COVID not long ago, and nobody watered. So a lot of our zinnias bit the dust, and I still make arrangements out of the dead flowers.
They're so pretty, and you can save the seeds.
Oh, yes. And in death, there's life. I always tell people they're the seeds.
Don't get mad at those who forget to water their plants. We're all out here just trying to survive, John.
I'll tell you what, it's been so hot, though.
Yeah.
And these are in salad tables, so we have heat from underneath. Mm-hmm. These are tables you can get a wheelchair under. So underneath we have the winds, the heat, and on top the sun's beating down. So you're basically watering every day.
Should you ever water twice a day in this kind of heat, John?
Yes.
What would that look like so you don't drown your plant?
On the bottom of the table, there's a screen. So all the free water will drain through that screen. There's no way to overwater.
So your pot, as long as it has drainage to it,
yes,
you're good to go.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So like early in the morning and then late in the afternoon, would be the...
You want to water early in the morning.
Always heard it. You should never put the baby to bed wet. That was a trick or tip that I was told years ago about plants. So I'm like, you have to water them in the morning because you don't put your baby to bed wet. I mean, that would be terrible parenting.
Yeah, if you water in the evening, that moisture is going to stay on the grass or on flower leaves and stuff like that. You can invite a fungus. Mm-hmm. And
Dr. Cindy Ayers, Footprint Farms. I was trying to remember who reminded me, who shared that tip with me years ago. But yeah, give her that kind of credit. But at this point, if you get home around 3 or 4 in the afternoon and you see your plants or like feel thirsty, it's okay to give them a little water then.
I'd give them a little bit of water. And what you want to do is water deep.
So what does that mean?
You're going to water less often. And say if it's grass, you want to water thoroughly and deeply. The roots will follow that water down, so during periods of drought there's still moisture in the soil column, but it's just a little bit deeper. If you keep watering shallow at short spurts, I did that in my yard and I killed my St. Augustine because the roots stay up high and that sun beats down. And
so I didn't think about grass. So should we be watering our grass right now if it hasn't? Well, it came a gully washer yesterday out of nowhere. Thank you, Jesus. But also, gee, where did that come from? But should you be watering your grass?
Pardon me?
Should you water your grass?
Yes.
Yeah, or Jeff can share.
So we did not get the gully washer in Tupelo. I'm jealous that y'all got that.
We got a gully washer here yesterday about this time.
Yeah, we'll take whatever rain you can get. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's definitely important to water your turf, your lawn this time of year because it is so hot and dry, and we're already in a dry period. And so at least once a week, it's really good to thoroughly water the turf. As John was saying, you don't want to water for like 10 minutes a day. You want to water 20 to 30 minutes on each cycle so that you can get the water deep into the soil.
So it's not just like getting on the surface.
Right.
You want to really concentrate
deep.
It that way.
And so, yeah, you absolutely need to be watering your shrubs and your turf this time of year at least once a week. And in some cases, it might need it twice a week. But for sure, once a week could be the difference in whether it survives the summer or not. And I know water can be expensive in certain municipalities, but that's less expensive than replacing plants and turf.
Because I think some of us, our houses included, we still have some shrubs that didn't make it from 2023. Mm-hmm. Like, those ones you were like, come on, you can do it. And then March or April of 24 came around, and then it was like, you didn't make it.
Yeah, this part of the state was extremely rough last year. And so if you had plants that didn't make it and you were giving it this year and they still haven't made it, it may be time to remove those. And then this fall, you can look at probably replanting those.
Because it's better not planting right now. Now would not be a good...
It would not, no.
So what's the earliest? Would it be, or I've always heard too, and it could be right or wrong, more of like January, February if you want to plant like shrubs or big things like that, or does that really matter? Really,
any time from October through April is usually okay during the winter months. I like to do October and November if we're out of the drought, and if we're not, then February and March are really good times.
Which is not what you would think of in terms of planting, but what makes the winter or the colder months better for planting those new shrubs or plants in especially when you think about your landscaping?
Yeah, especially with shrubs and trees, they do best if planted in the fall. That gives them time to root in over the winter. They're not trying to put on a lot of top growth. They just concentrate on rooting. And then by the next summer, they have an established root system to hopefully help keep them alive.
Look at all that you learn all of this too, I'm sure, in your Master Gardener program.
We cover all of that.
How do you cover all of that in that one program?
So that's a great question. So we hit on 15 different topics, about 40 hours of video, And so you can go a little bit in depth on each topic, such as turf grass is a 4-hour program. And so you can cover a lot in 4 hours, excuse me, but can't cover everything, obviously. So we go just a little bit of depth on each topic. And then as you stay a Master Gardener, you do continuing education through the years. And that's where you can go even deeper into the topics that are of interest to you as a Master Gardener.
Well, if you've got a question for a Master Gardener, let us know, 601-879-4395. We got more with Jeff and John coming up next. FM. We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app, and we're always on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. And you can watch us. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. Continuing our conversation with two great Master Gardeners, John Malanchak as well as Dr. Jeff Wilson. He is the head of the Master Gardener program there for the Mississippi State Extension. They just opened registration yesterday for their new program. If you get on it today, you got till December to sort of educate yourself through it, right?
That's right. So registration, as you said, opened yesterday. Registration closes September 12th. So I think that's 4 weeks from today. Mm-hmm. So people still have 4 weeks to get registered. And then there's a 3-week gap before the online course opens. And it is open for about 9 weeks. So plenty of time to watch 40 hours of video and take a final exam at the end.
No books that get mailed to your house, no extra things to buy.
There is a manual that gets mailed to the county extension office, and then we have the participant go there so they can meet the extension staff, meet the agents there, and they pick up their manual. And that's what that 3-week gap period is for once registration closes. So we get the materials in the hands of the participants, and then they'll have a manual in front of them as they're watching the 40 hours of videos so they can take notes.
Do we have Master Gardeners in every county in Mississippi?
No, not every county, but
not yet.
We're up to 60 or 62 counties have at least one Master Gardener, and we have about a dozen counties that have 5 or less Master Gardeners, and then we have counties that have as many as 95 active Master Gardeners.
So those counties that have the 95, are they organizing events and things around the town and really, vested in terms of the volunteer aspect?
Absolutely, and most all of the counties that have even 8 or 10 members or more, they have lots of projects going on in their county. They do horticulture education, agriculture education throughout the county. That's for adults and youth alike. And then most of those groups also have garden projects throughout the county that they maintain, like a butterfly garden or a vegetable garden, rose gardens, a wide variety of those. And of course, they use those for education purposes as well.
Are most of your Master Gardeners retired? I know it's not a requirement, but do you find that this is a great...
Until we started the online program in 2021, about 95% of Mississippi Master Gardeners were retired, and that was a national trend as well. But as we have offered it online now for 3, this being the 4th year, we are changing those numbers. We are seeing much more people participate and join who are still working full-time, who are under the age of 50. We're increasing our diversity on every single level since we have opened up this online training.
What's your youngest?
We've had a 19. You have to be at least 18.
Okay.
And last year we had a 19-year-old.
Really?
Yes.
What county do you remember?
I do not remember.
That's
no.
cool. I think that's neat because that just sets the stage. But also, I guess if you're young and you kind of look at, flower. I know flower growing is gaining popularity in Mississippi, and some other things. If you wanted to be a small sort of a micro farmer, this would be great information if you even thought about that.
Absolutely, it would. And the largest new group that we've picked up are young people in their 30s and 40s that are still working full time.
I'm still young.
Yes, and so we are. That's the age demographic that has really increased since we have brought it online. And so people have found out that they can still work full time and have time to be a Master Gardener volunteer either in the evenings or on the weekends to have time to do their volunteer hours.
I love that. Is there a recommended volunteer hours? I'm sure you're not holding people to it like fire, but is there a recommendation, or is it just get out there and volunteer and find out where you fit?
There are some recommendations that we kind of try to adhere to. And so once you finish the initial 40-hour course, you have to volunteer 40 hours back to your local county extension office over the next year. So that's 40 hours of the next year. And then at that point, you are a certified Master Gardener, like John is here, And then every year after that, you have to volunteer 20 hours of service and 12 hours of education. But as John said, he's already hit 600 hours this year, so I think he's crossed his 20.
And those don't carry over, John.
Yeah,
so
they don't carry over. But most people that enjoy this, for them to get 20 hours is nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of them do that in a week.
And it's a great part of the extension. Like, you're helping the extension be extended into the community, right?
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
an extra arm of it.
Yeah, so extension is about reaching out and helping people in the community, help improve their lives. And Master Gardeners help do that through Horticulture Avenues. And that, we do that through teaching people how to grow food, and then other parts of extension teach people how to take the food and prepare and cook it. So we all work together to do whatever we can to improve the lives of the people in our communities.
Even if we're not Master Gardeners, and we can still use our extension offices that I think a lot of times folks underutilize when they're thinking about gardening or planting or anything in their own home. So if you were supposed to start a fall garden, or maybe you had tomatoes that didn't do well, how can you use the extension service to figure that out for next year?
Yes, that's a great question. And Extension Service, we market ourselves as we're the only agency in the state that works with people from before their birth until after death. So all ages, all demographics, everyone. If you have any area that in your life that you have questions about, call your local extension office and ask them. But specifically to your question, in gardening, if you've had trouble with vegetables this year from the heat and the drought and other issues, and you want to do better next year, contact your local extension office, talk with the agent there, and they can talk about soil testing and other things that you can do to maybe improve your results for next year.
So maybe it's not your fault.
Absolutely. And a lot of times plants they don't try hard enough. They just give up. And so it's not always our fault.
And when it does happen and all the planets align, you're just very proud of yourself.
That's right.
What I find with that.
Like a petunia.
Like a petunia. My beautiful petunias I am so proud of. And I want to keep them alive. But John, when should I expect for Mother Nature to take her course with my petunias, and then it'd be her time to sort of, right now she's still hanging in there because I'm watering her well, hopefully. But I mean, we are coming up to those fall months. They seem far away as we're in this triple degree heat and humidity, but the fall is coming, and that's the great thing in nature. It kind of has its cycle. When should we start seeing our summer plants naturally start to be ready to switch out?
Well, right now the tomato plants that we planted back in April.
Oh, mine's done.
They're done. And in fact, at the VA, we pulled a lot of them. But the first frost, I think for central Mississippi, it's November the 7th. So that frost is probably going to kill quite a few flowers out there.
How do you know that?
I study it.
Is there an almanac that you've looked at?
No, it's a publication, and you learn that in Master Gardening for Central Mississippi. They have publications. They'll say, for the Jackson area.
We're going to make that note, Rhino. We'll put it in our calendar, November the 7th, which my birthday's the 8th, so that's the day before the best day. And we'll see if it frosts. Yeah. And have to see if John was right on that.
It's an average over a week or two.
But that's when you should you wait till the first frost before you start putting out like mums or things like that? Because as soon as they come out, I'm the weirdo that's going and putting the hay bales, and it can still be 90 degrees, but it's October, so I need mums on my front porch.
Yeah, you can put mums out.
And kill those too, because they're really easy to do.
I don't know if it'll kill a mum, but there's a lot of stuff that's going to be killed.
Yeah.
Some of the delicate stuff.
Will anything last? I mean, or should you just let your petunias go on and replant them next year?
Well, most of the flowers that we're talking about are annuals, and so they're summer annuals, and so they're not designed to make it through the winter. So
bless their heart.
Yes, and if you wanted to keep your petunias, if you had a sunroom or somewhere you could bring them in where it didn't go below freezing, you could keep those all through the winter. But
I'm emotionally attached, so I may keep my petunias.
Most people do that because they can replace those for $20 next year, and so they just do that. But you could try to do that. Most people do not. What most people do is when their summer annuals play out, they will plant winter annuals such as pansies and violas and things like that to have color during the winter months. There's not as many options for the winter as there are for the summer, but you can still have some color if you want that in the landscape.
Should we be getting ready for our fall vegetation now in terms of what we want to plant in terms to eat? What do you like? I guess your collard, your greens. What else is coming up this fall?
Fall vegetables.
Fall vegetables.
So you can also, John May was about to say this a moment ago, but you could restart tomatoes at this point right now, and you could still get tomatoes most likely before they froze out. But if you're going to start things like lettuce and turnips and kale and cabbage and collards, we're still a little bit early to start those now. We usually tell people to start their seeds around September 1st. Again, we planted those last year, and the seeds just laid there because it didn't rain for 2 months. But that's generally the time when we would start those. It's early to mid-September.
So much to learn, so much cool stuff. John, you never regretted doing a Master Gardener program.
Not
Wish you
at
would have
all.
done it earlier?
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you tell folks that may be on the fence about it?
I tell them do it.
Do it. Just take your time.
As Dr. Wilson said, there's a lot to learn, but it's fun. And I'm a science nerd, so I just dove into it. But yeah, everything is laid out for you. And like you said, you do it online. You take your time. And, of course, I don't want to memorize anything. I want to learn it. So, but yeah.
Well, you got till September the 14th to register.
13th, I believe.
13th?
Yes.
Okay, yes, be a day early instead of a day late. So September the 13th.
That's correct.
You got to find out who the youngest Master Gardener is.
I will work on that.
I would love to know who they are.
Yes.
But thank you both for your time. Where can they go to sign up?
They can go to the Master Gardener Facebook page, or they can go to the Extension Master Gardener page, or they can just call their local county extension office and get the information from them.
All righty. Thank you, guys. You guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.